Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
There's a question which has come, so we'll take that first. What are energy centers? Energy centers meaning the chakras in the body. What they hold, why they get blocked. At least we say that they get blocked. And what simple way can we clear them? How to stay in a positive frame of mind. Originally, yoga did not talk about the chakras. Tantra talked about the chakras. And then Tantra talked about many chakras, and then yoga came down to talking about 6 to 7 chakras, main chakras. So, if it's a foggy day, you can't see the mountain. The fog doesn't allow you to see the mountain. Similarly, we have a physical body and we have many subtle bodies. આપણી સ્થૂળ શરીર છે અને ઘણા બધા સૂક્ષ્મ શરીર છે. The physical body is what we see with the 5 senses. The other bodies cannot be seen so easily. To take the sight inside, andar jowa mate, to take the sight inside, it requires years of practice. Now, between the physical body and there is a body called the astral body made of starry material. There is a web, dhumas, like a foggy day. When we try to look inside, we see darkness. We can't see anything because there is a web protecting that which is inside. There's a curtain. And that curtain is called the etheric body. This etheric body, it works as a kind of medium between the astral. Astral is the emotional body. Here I touch. Here in the astral I feel. There's a relationship. Man is a 3-story factory. Our body-brain system is a 3-story factory. There are 3 stories. In the top wing, think. In this we feel. And in this we sense. You're sitting on a chair, you sense the chair. But you feel whether you like the chair, it's hard or soft or comfortable or uncomfortable. You feel the chair. And you think what you want to do about the problem, whether you're okay or not okay with it. Right? So man is a thinking, feeling, sensing being. These are the 3 stories in his house. All 3 work with different kind of energies, all 3 work at different kind of speeds, all 3 have different kind of memories. I won't go into that today because that's what you call question is on what are the chakras. Now, Like I said, between the physical body and the astral body. How many bodies do we have? The physical body. So the liver will be in which body? The physical body. The liver will be in the physical body. The heart will be in the physical body. Right? Okay. Then between the physical and the feeling body, we have something called the etheric body. This is a pranic structure. It's prana. Where do we feel this body? In which place do we feel this body? Are we a little aware of this body, this pranic body, etheric body? Very easy, very, very easy. Very easy. We've talked about it last year. Forgot. Inception, where do we feel it? In the dreams. In the dreams, the body we feel is the etheric body, it is not the physical body. The physical body has gone to sleep. It is the etheric body, right? We are not able to attach consciousness to the etheric body. So in the dream, we are totally hypnotized. We don't know what is happening in the dream. We have a little bit of consciousness, so when we wake up, we say, oh, in the dream I did this, I did that, but it's not even 10% of the story. But in the dream, we cannot control the etheric body. Now, what is the difference between this etheric body and the physical body? Supposing I want to go through this wall, can I go through the wall? But can the etheric body go through the wall? Can. If I want to fly, can I fly? I cannot fly, but the etheric body can fly. And now, many modern day psychologists are working on this, how they can use this. Not only are they working on how to use it for growth of a person, but they're thinking of using it for defense purposes and all kinds of other things. So there are all kinds of experiments going on with the etheric body. The chakras are in a part of the etheric body. Prana, we can also write electricity. Right. Then we have more bodies, the astral body. When we die, what dies? This and this. This does not die. The soul and the astral, they travel. The soul and the astral travel. Right? The astral body is the feeling body, the body of emotion. What is the problem with our feelings? What is the problem with our feelings? What happens to our feelings all the time? They get attached. They get attached. Right? They get attached to what? To what we don't like or what we like? To what we like. And they get repulsed from what we don't like. This body is a victim of attraction and repulsion. And every attraction has an attachment. Something remains. Something remains. There's an attachment. And that attachment can change into repulsion at any time. I love the person today, but I can. I'm talking about this morning. 3-4 days ago, a girl called me, oh, I found the person. Right? And he's this, my heart throbs and all that. I said, don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Today she called me and said, Array, he didn't tell me that he was married and what to do? same person I love, the same person I hate. All spiritual work is on the astral body. We have to free it of the law of attraction and repulsion. That is, the whole spiritual business is in one line. Freeing the astral of the law of attraction and repulsion. This is freedom, moksha. Freedom. Right? You are just saying, Jai, 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 Bandhans, se chute. What did you all sing this time? Huh? Right, you are talking about this person up here, this astral. Beyond the astral, we can have a mental body. Everybody does not have a mental body. Our mental body is only thoughts. Thoughts are a very weak and insignificant thing. Even though today they are behind everything. Our scientific progress, our economic progress, everything is powered by thought. Everything is powered by thought. Right? We have a mental body. But we don't have a developed mental body because our astral body is still a victim of attraction and repulsion. When a person's mental body develops, certain signs appear on his face, on his neck, certain signs. So a guru can read whether this person's mental body is on the verge of, if he can work on developing this person's mental body or not. And those signs are readable. Have you heard of Buddha's necklace? Yeah.
Can you give us some examples of the signs of the mental body on the face as compared to...
have to say everything. Right. This, call Prashna, repeat karo. Any signs of the mental body. When the mental body is formed, it forms along these bones of the collarbone. And in certain yogis, you will see that this part over here starts separating. It starts separating. So you know that this person's mental body is being formed. After death, our astral has a life of, in normal circumstances, 55 days. In 55 days it has to seek rebirth. If we have worked on that astral and we have made it free of the law of attraction, it has a life of 500 years. So if the guru dies, he is available for how many years? 500 years. Right? Because he is there in the astral and he can guide us and direct us for a period of 500 years. Right? Then comes the mental body. The mental body, it's very difficult to describe what the mental body is, but it has a life of, once it is formed, we don't have a mental body. Once it is formed, it has a life of 2,500 years. When Buddha died, this collarbone of his was given out to his disciples in pieces. And that was known, this is now known as this mental body. When a person is developed, this area is known as Buddha's necklace. Buddha's necklace. Right? And these pieces were given out to special disciples who could communicate by wearing that piece with Buddha's mental body. But now more than 2,500 years have gone, so that is over. More than 2,500 years after Buddha. After this, we have what is called a causal body. All these bodies are one within the other. The etheric body will interpenetrate the physical body. The astral body will interpenetrate the etheric and the physical. They are all oath-prot, one within the other. What is the causal body? Atma, the spirit. Spirit. It's like a diamond. Better than any diamond we have seen. Right? You take 50 Kohinoor diamonds and put them together. That is the Atma. And it is protected in a translucent, not transparent, translucent covering, a very fine translucent covering. The light can come out of it. But from this side we cannot see the Atma. We can only see the light. We cannot see. So this translucent covering is known as the causal body. It is to safeguard so that this area cannot be entered so easily. One negative emotion can enter the causal body. One negative emotion, and we have to be very, very careful of that negative emotion, because if that scar forms on this translucent sheet, then it takes many, many, many lifetimes to heal that scar. Such people are very, very powerful people. Very, very negatively powerful people. Those who have a scar on this, they destroy nations, they kill people, they are the cause of revolutions. They are very, very powerful people. Can you name anyone in the last century? Hitler. Huh? Hitler.
Laden.
Huh?
Laden, Osama bin Laden.
I don't know about Laden, but Hitler is a very, very interesting story. Very interesting story. I'll just rub this up and then we take Hitler. Now Hitler, it's very, very interesting. Napoleon, Hitler. Hitler, for 3 years, if you study Hitler, he never made a single mistake. For 3 years, he did not make a single mistake. And after 3 years, he did not make a single right decision. How is this possible? How is this possible? One person, for 3 years, he does not make a single mistake. How is this possible? It cannot be done just by normal reasoning and normal. Right? Anyone, any good businessman, your parents are good businessmen, good professionals, you ask them that 3 months without a mistake, 3 days without a mistake. Hitler, 3 years. And impossible decisions. If there were decisions which were, easy, but impossible decisions. The very start of the Second World War, that the Maginot Line could not be broken, he broke through it. Napoleon, for 3 months, everything went right for him. With 100 men, he defeated the whole French army in the 100 days of war in Europe, right? So, what was driving Hitler? What was driving Hitler? What was driving Hitler? What was driving Napoleon? One army, the French army, was fighting the whole of Europe. Napoleon. Just study history. How many of you study history? Now because of the sciences, nobody studies. They say that when Hitler used to make a decision, his eyes used to go up, and as if a different voice was speaking through him. And this lasted for 3 years. Now, many things are unseen in life. We don't know. It's not written in history books because there is no history about it. There's nobody to record anything about it. So like we have, our history is only of the physical body. We don't know the history of any other body, the etheric body or what is it. Now, in Tibet, there was a group of 5 masters. Right? And this group of 5 masters, they were not in the physical body, they were in the astral body. And they wanted to train somebody to become a world teacher. Train somebody to become a world teacher. The time was very, very vulnerable. So, either there would be a big war or there could be something positive coming out of it. It could be a big war. So they decided to use their energy through something called a symbol, a yantra. You know what is a yantra? A drawing. A yantra. When you say the Gayatri, Om, Bhu, Swaha, and if you were to take some sand and you put it on a piece of paper like this or on a thin membrane, right? And you put it on a box, and in that hollow box you are saying the Gayatri or somebody is reciting the Gayatri, and the sound of the Gayatri will make shapes in the sand. That will be called a Gayatri Yantra. Gayatri Yantra. Right? So, a yantra is something which you create in the etheric body, you can create in your dreams, and you can give it power. Right? So this group they decided to give this power in a symbol called the swastika. You've seen the swastika? A symbol called the swastika. Now Hitler, he was very much into this, that he is the original Aryan race. So he sent one of his advisors to Tibet to get an original symbol of the Aryan race. And the name of this advisor, or his secretary or his advisor, was Horshofer. And Horshofer went to Tibet. And then he met this group of 5 masters. And they told him that to avoid a war, we want to give our energy to one person to avoid a war, so that there can be peace in the world. So he says, you take this swastika and you give it to your teacher. This is the, the highest symbol of the Aryan race. Horshofer was a little crazy. So when he brought the swastika to Hitler, he turned it upside down. Instead of clockwise, he turned it anti-clockwise. And all the positive energy became negative. And Hitler was controlled by that energy for 3 years. After 3 years, his ego came. And he lost communication with that energy. Till then, he was not doing, somebody else was doing through Who has written the most love letters in the world? Who has written the most love letters?
Napoleon.
Huh?
Napoleon.
Who?
Napoleon.
Napoleon. Right. To whom?
To his wife.
What was her name?
I don't know.
Josephine. Josephine. Right. You're very true. He's written the most love letters written by anyone was by Napoleon. He loved his wife. Her name was Josephine. And Napoleon, he was a different person. He could be riding out to battle and he would be sleeping on the horse. He could go to sleep for 10 minutes on the horse. He would write a love letter on the horse and send it to his wife. And he wrote thousands of love letters. Of course, his wife never loved him. She never bothered about it. And Napoleon had this force that something was coming from the higher. The last day when he was supposed to fight the Duke of Wellington, right? And which was the place, the famous place? Waterloo. And his general came and he said that, let us take the cannons to the top of the hill. So we are ready in the morning for Wellington's army. And then Napoleon said, no, we'll take them early in the morning. So his general said that if anything happens, God help us. And Napoleon said, God does not fight my battles, I fight my battles. Right? His ego came. His ego came. Till then it was a flow. Things were happening. The ego, what we call as effortless effort. Effortless effort. And what happened at night? It rained. It rained, and the next morning they could not take their cannons to the top of the hill, and he lost. Pardon? Destiny came to meet him in the form of the general. Can you take your cannons? The ego did not allow destiny.
But was the ego and what are you?
Pardon?
Was the ego against him?
His ego is always against us. The ego is never for us. His ego, it became too inflated. It became too inflated. And that became his biggest obstacle, his own ego. His own ego became his biggest obstacle. Became against him, as you are saying.
Wasn't that still against him?
The what?
Was he destined to have that happening?
Destiny took the path of the ego. Right? First the destiny was divine. Destiny was divine. The general came to him, but he didn't listen. He didn't listen. The ego came in between. The ego came in between.
When he was sitting on that horse, when he was exhausted, did you know that you had a tantric media?
I can't understand.
When he was sitting on the horse, when he was exhausted in the battlefield, and he came and relaxed for a half an hour or so on his horse, they say they had a tantric media that would relax him.
He had that. He could sleep for 10 minutes on the horse. He didn't have to go to sleep in the tent. There's a beautiful.
He said that he had a tantric vidya while he was sleeping on the horse.
Must have had a vidya. Must have been. The art of taking the body into sleep paralysis.
Where did he get that yoga video?
You know, he had a beautiful book which he referred to when he would make any decisions. It was all full of astrology, numerology. The name of that book is Napoleon. You can find it in a bookstore. The name of the book is, many people use this book. Many very famous businessmen, they don't do anything without consulting this book called Napoleon. Yes, so he had that inner art of divinity, divining. Anyway, the chakras, I'll take the chakras. A little bit of storytelling, but the chakras. Which other very famous personality of our age was chosen by this Tibetan group to be a world teacher, which very famous, and a whole group was made to train him, prepare him. Who can you say to be a world teacher?
Lenin.
Who said? Krishnamurti. Jiddu Krishna. When Krishnamurti was 10 or 11 years old, he was walking on the beach in Madras, and there was this very, very astrally powerful person. His name was Charles Leadbeater. And Leadbeater saw Krishnamurti, he saw his aura. We can't see each other's aura. He saw the aura and he said, this person can be trained. And Leadbeater at that time was a part of what was called the Theosophical Society. The Theosophical Society was started around the 1870s by three people, Madame Blavatsky, William Judge and Colonel Olcott. The three of them, they started this. It's very famous throughout the world. And then they died, and somebody called Annie Besant, she became the president of the Theosophical Society. But Annie Besant was also very involved in India's freedom struggle. And she came before Mahatma Gandhi. Before Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi took many things from Annie Besant. And Annie Besant has written many books. One of the very good books are the past lives of Annie Besant, if you would like to read them. So, where she talks of her past lives. And she was very deeply involved with the Theosophical Society and the work of Madame Blavatsky. And so she and Leadbeater, they chose this boy called Krishna Murti, and they trained him. What did they train him for? What did they train him for? Like I said, Buddha died 2,500 years ago. And the mental body lives for 2,500 years. So they said, can we train somebody so that before Buddha's mental body dies, disintegrates, it comes into somebody else's physical body? And they trained Krishnamurti, they also trained his brother Nitya. And the training was done in the night when they went to sleep. In the sleep, Leadbeater would take this boy in his dream body, the etheric body. The dream body would take him from Madras to Tibet. And in Tibet, he would be trained by these masters. And this training, and when he was 16, the name of Krishnamurti's master in the subtle body, his name was Ali Kohn. And Krishnamurti has written a beautiful book when he was 16, At the Feet of the Master. At the Feet of the Master, where he writes that this is not my book, it has been dictated to be by my master, Ali Kohn. And Krishnamurti, they prepared him, they decided on this date. The Theosophical Society broke into two. The old Theosophists, they did not want any change in Madame Blavatsky's principles, and then they did not want to believe in Krishnamurti. Madame Blavatsky, then Annie Besant created a new society called the Order of the Star. And in Holland, on a special day, I think around 1930, Krishnamurti was going to become the world teacher. The mental body of Buddha was supposed to come into him. At the last moment, Krishnamurti said, I am walking on my own feet, why should I allow somebody else to control me? And he was right. He was right. And he broke off. He dissolved the Order of the Star. Right? And he broke off and he started his own. And he since from 1930 to his death in 1986. For 56 years he traveled the world and he taught people. Many very famous physicists were his students. Fortunately, from 1973 till he left in 1986, he used to give 2 lectures in Bombay every year. And I had the good fortune to listen to them every year from 73 to 86. So this is the story. We have an etheric body. We go into dreams every night. We don't use the etheric body. How many of us remember our dreams? How many of us remember our dreams? How many of us get up in the morning and try to remember one dream? One dream. You? Huh?
Every day. I've been doing it for many years.
Very good. Very good. The power of recall.
And I keep a diary.
Yeah. How many of us can keep a diary? What will happen if you get up in the morning and say that I won't get out of my bed without remembering one dream at least?
We remember dreams but in bits and pieces.
Doesn't matter. The knack is in doing it every day. The knack is in doing it every day.
Rajen, how do you interpret it? Because it's...
No, don't interpret it. Don't interpret it. There is no way we can interpret it.
So why should you write it? Why should you write it?
The power of recalling. The power of recalling. Our power of recalling is dead. We have everything is associative for us. You get what I'm trying to say? I see his jacket, I remember that I have a shirt like his jacket which doesn't have a button, needs to be stitched. But when I asked my wife to stitch the button, she was very angry. She said she'll do it at some other time. Everything is associative for us. This power of recall. If we had the power of recall, we would recall that we are God already. There's nothing to do. We already know. We can't recall. Something happened in those vibrations, and here there's a big gap between this and this. Otherwise, we are already this. We don't have to do anything. Why are we making all this effort? But we don't have the power to recall. We have the power to record. Because the recording happens on its own. We don't have to do anything for recording, but to recall. And that recall, if we can write one dream every day, then we start on a journey of recalling. That is why the whole spiritual journey, Guruji gives it in one word: self-remembering. Self-remembering. We say Atma Smaran, to remember, the power to recall. And it is that power which we have to develop.
Just a question. I have dreams, and it's always something that you're missing. You're either not getting there, you try your best but you don't get there. Is there an interpretation for that? It's always, it comes in different instances, in different scenarios, but it happens quite often with me that I just...
Write it down. Write it down. Write the colors down. What is the background to the dream? If it is a dark background, it is something to do with the past. If it is a light background, it is something to do with the future. All that we have to write it down.
It's like that poor that we met where she says that she always dreams that she's missing the train. It's that kind of dream, that I'm always not just getting
It could be something very significant. It could be something.
It's just like
They just write it down. Not only that, you see, we don't understand dream time and this time. Here, continuity is continuity. Dream time continuity is not continuity. It could be something else. Right? So you have half the dream today and the next part may come after 6 months. You won't even recognize the next part. But if you've written down everything, you'll recognize. Yeah.
Sir, when one is sleeping, or before one goes to sleep, you ask the Creator to help you with something, and that comes in the dream. Is that this is a dream or is more than a dream?
Okay, it is more. Okay. See, we were given one mantra. And even these days, sometimes I practice. It is not something which I've dropped. And how many of us know when we went to sleep? Know when we got up in the morning? See, I'm awake, I'm going to sleep. Supposing you go to sleep on the chair like some of you are. Right? What is the feeling of going to sleep? Can you hold that feeling? The feeling of going to sleep. And which was the last moment? What were you thinking in the last moment before you went into sleep? That final moment. Because one day we are all going to die. What were we thinking in the final moment? And unless we can catch this moment, we won't catch that moment. Now, can we hold that space for some time? Then we'll recite a mantra. We recite a mantra. But in that space, by sitting here and reciting it, nothing is going to happen. But in that space. So I start reciting the mantra when I'm feeling very sleepy. I'm feeling very sleepy. I'm going into bed, I'm going to sleep, and I'm feeling sleep is coming, and I start reciting the mantra. Not loudly, I don't wake up the neighbors. Right? Inside. I recite it inside. And this mantra is, I want to see the truth. I want to see the truth. The mantra is, I want to see the truth. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. I want to see the truth, the supreme truth, Satyam Dhimai. I meditate upon it. Right? And I repeat it at that time, only at that time, not sitting. So I'm going to sleep, I'm on the verge of sleep, and then I feel this sleep is coming, and I just say, Om Satyam Param Dhimai. I want the truth and nothing but the truth. If you can hold that space for even 2 minutes, 2 minutes, it is very difficult. Just hold it. You don't go to sleep, you don't get awake, you're halfway. You're on the verge of going to sleep, and you're just reciting this mantra, Om Satyam Param Dhimai. And at the point of sleep, the curtain opens, the inner curtain opens. And if we are just right there, at that time we will experience something. Then you don't have to do anything else. If you can do this. This is all the sadhana that is needed. Just 2 minutes every day. 2 minutes every day.
Can you write it down?
On the board? Yeah, I can write it down. Why not? In Hindi or English will do?
English.
Okay.
Half is better.
Pardon?
Zulu is better. That's okay.
Zulu. People go to ashrams, people go to gurus, people work their whole lives, and what they won't get, you'll get in these 2 minutes. Just by practicing these 2 minutes.
In the nighttime dreaming, is that not a visual picture of what is rising in your subconscious mind?
Pardon?
The nighttime dreaming.
Nighttime?
The nighttime dream, the dreams we talk about. Is it not a visual picture of what is sitting in your subconscious mind?
See, the dreams which we get, first of all, when we go to sleep, we are hardly in the dream period. We immediately go into deep sleep within 10-15 minutes of sleeping, 15-20 minutes of sleeping. And then we'll remain in that deep sleep state for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. And then we start coming back. And in that, the first dream of the night comes. And the first dream lasts for about 10 minutes. Now, the initial dreams which come, they are just reactions to the day. What has remained unfulfilled in the day, I have to be finished with it. Right? My boss said something, the son said something, the wife said something, the friend did not come on time. So many things are happening, all that we get rid of it. As morning comes, the cycle goes round, that is the deep sleep cycle goes down to 10 minutes and the dream period goes to 45 minutes to 1 hour. So towards morning we are dreaming most of the time. Right? Now in that, now all the reactions to the day are over. Now we could be sleeping on the left side or we could be sleeping on the right side. If we are sleeping on the right side, the left nostril is working, the right brain is active. And those dreams which come from a very, very deep part of us. And it is those dreams which we would love to work with because they contain a lot of not only information but experience. So early in the morning when you wake up, if you can just go back a little. Actually today is Friday. This morning in the DNA in Bombay, my article, if you go dna.com, today this morning my article is there, Cosmic Sex Energy, where I'm talking about how to contact that energy through this dream sequence. Half of the article, the other half I'm talking about how to do it through Omkar. But first half is on early in the morning. We waste that period completely. It's the most beautiful period of the day. And we just get out of bed. And the art is not to get out of the bed, to wait in the bed. Don't wake up completely. Try to remain in that in-between period. Hold that period. Everything is awakening. The inner soul went deep, it went from the physical body to the etheric body, through the astral body, through the mental body, it went down to the causal body, it met the Atma and it is coming back. It is coming back and everything is waking up. It is not just the sunrise outside, it is the sunrise inside. So that is the time when we shouldn't wake up, just look inside. Look inside. And just wait, and in that period many times we are sitting on the wall. We can hear what is happening outside and we can see what is happening inside. This is a beautiful state to be in. And if you can be in this state for a few minutes every day, your whole day will be different. You won't get angry in the day, you won't feel irritated in the day. You won't get upset in the day. Everything will change in that day. Because you've entered that space of real beauty in the morning, that in between. That's called the twilight. Sandhya. So, now you can repeat this mantra again at that time. Om Satyam Param Dhimati. Thank you. Now once you want to get up, you've looked inside for a few minutes and you see all your energies are moving. As you are waking up, the energies are moving faster. Then you just stretch like a cat a little. And suddenly you will see that the energies are moving very, very fast. And then wake up. And these small practices can change our life completely. Just making use of that point when we go to sleep and that point which we get up. We waste it completely. I'll come to the chakras. Okay, I see you. How many of us are studying physics? Physics. Have studied physics, right? Okay. None of you know physics? Study physics? Yeah? Okay. Study electromagnetism? In physics you have mechanics, electromagnetism, heat, light. You don't study electromagnetism. I see you. What am I seeing? What am I seeing? Am I seeing you or am I seeing a picture constructed in my mind? How is this picture constructed? How is this picture made? Come on, you won't study physics, electromagnetism, heat, light, electricity, mechanics. Forgot? So fast. Final exams come already. You know, before there was any religion in the world, all the religions came later. There was something called darshan, to see. When I see you, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? And there were 5 schools of darshan. Right? 5 schools of, the oldest was Sankhya. It's more than 25,000 years old. Very little remains of the, what do you call, the precepts of Sankhya. Sankhya means to, Sankhya, to count. To count. In Western philosophy, there was another person who took from Sankhya in India and he became a big guru in the West. What was his name? Pythagoras. In those days, he had a beautiful school, like the ashrams in India, in Greece. And the other philosophers became very jealous of it. So they incited the king to get rid of the school. So the king sent the army and they killed everyone, all the disciples. Only one disciple escaped. His name was Lysis. And he wrote a beautiful book, The Golden Verses of Pythagoras. We know only Pythagoras as a mathematician. We don't know Pythagoras as a guru. And he wrote this beautiful book. And the beauty is he was a disciple. He did not sign his name. He signed his guru's name. So, there was Sankhya in India, Pythagoras, the perennial philosophy of life, he called it. Sankhya, then came Vedanta, the Brahma Sutras. Nyaya. Yeah.
Who was the guru of Pythagoras?
Pardon?
Who was the guru of Pythagoras?
We don't know. He came to India in those days, and because everything was numbers for him. The universe was number. He used to say the universe is number. So he's definitely taken from Sankhya. Whatever he has taken is taken from Sankhya. We have nothing remaining of Sankhya, just the 24 principles of Sankhya. This is Atma, this is this, these are the Tanmatras, these are the Panch Tattvas. You know, nothing else remains of Sankhya. And that is the oldest darshan. I think last year I told you the story of how I was asking my guru to teach me what is Tanmatra. You remember the story? My guru was teaching me how to work with my dreams. And I was asking him, because in Sankhya you have 5 tattvas and 5 tanmatras. 5 tanmatras. So, supposing you say this is plastic, then plastic can be broken down into its molecules, and those molecules can be broken down into atoms, and those atoms can be broken down into subatomic particles. Similarly, Sankhya is saying that all elements can be broken down into tanmatra. Let's take it. It's a very, very interesting subject. Very, very fascinating subject. I see you, what do I see? How do I see you? What is the process of seeing somebody? What goes into seeing somebody? Attention goes out, and you come in through my eyes. You come in through my eyes. But what do you come in as? Electromagnetic impulses. Right? What does light say? What does light say? What are these electromagnetic impulses called? Come on, physics. What is it called? I studied arts. I did my BA, I did my LLB. I know nothing about physics.
Electron, proton, neutron.
Photons. Photons. And those photons, where do they come? They come onto the optic nerve, right? And the picture is recreated in the brain, right? Okay. This is going to take 2 sessions of chakras. So next Friday. So you're broken down into electromagnetic impulses. Now, before physics, before science, there was darshan. And darshan gave a name to these electromagnetic impulses. They were called as tanmatra. What does it mean? Before science found out all the elements, what the yogis talked of, how many elements? How many elements? 5. Which ones? Which ones? Prithvi? Then Jal, Apas, Jal, Agni, Vayu. Okay, we'll stop here. Akash, we'll stop here. Right. Right? Okay, 5 elements. Were there more? No, 5. So I am looking at you, I am looking at something which is 5 elements. 5 elements. What am I looking at? 5 elements.
Just for the benefit of some of the kids, maybe you just like earth, water, fire.
Thank you.
Information.
Yeah. Earth, water, fire, wind, sky. Right? Now, every person is a combination of these 5. These 5. Supposing you're sitting on a chair and you're feeling that the chair is supporting you, it's not allowing you to fall to the ground. So, which element is supporting you? Earth. The earth element is supporting you. but you're looking at me, you can see me. Which element allows you to look at me? Fire. Fire, okay. You're feeling sleepy. Which element is making you feel sleepy? So everything in the universe is a combination of these five. Now, what is not a part of these five? What is not a part of these five? I'm looking at you. What is not a part of these five? What is not a part? I came. What's your name? Huh? Alisha. So I pay. To see you, what do? I pay attention. Attention. So I pay attention to you, then you come in through my eyes, through my ears, right? What do you come in as? Electromagnetic impulses. Those impulses are reconstructed inside to give me a picture of I am looking at you. I am not looking at you. I am not looking at you. I am looking at the duplicate of you inside. This duplicate yoga calls as Vritti. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha. Now, how does it reconstruct? You're sitting on a chair, and the feeling of the chair is moving up into you, right? And of course, yoga says that this moves up through the backbone. It moves up through the backbone. Now, we are not talking about science. Huh? So, who decodes this that I am getting support from the chair? And if somebody takes away the chair, I am going to fall to the ground. How is this decoding done? How is this decoding done? There is a brain, and that brain is called a chakra. There is a brain, that brain is called a chakra. Now you're sitting on the chair, right? And you're getting a feeling of support. That support is Prithvi, Tattva, the earth element. So, all this is flowing through the five senses. You're sitting on the chair, you're looking at him, I'm talking, you're listening to me. There are noises outside, all this is happening, and all this is flowing in through the five senses, and it rises up the back bone. All these are impulses, and there are 30,000 of these impulses flowing in every second. And there are brains inside which are decoding them. There are decoding them, and they have to decode them according to the five elements. According to the five elements. How is this decoding done? It is done by the chakras. That is the main function of the chakras. They decode. And every moment they are decoding. You are listening to me. Which element is involved? In the listening, which element is involved? Akash. Akash. So one chakra is decoding the Akash element in what I am speaking. But that is just one part of it. It's a very, very complex subject. very difficult because this knowledge is in no book. I have not seen it taught anywhere. It has just come from the guru to the disciple. And this is the first time I'm putting it into public in this way. In many places I've talked about it. But it's very difficult to practice. Very difficult. But if you have a little knowledge of physics, it will be easy. So now, this scene is coming into me. And I am seeing this person, Rushil, sitting over here. He's sitting on a chair. He is sleepy. He is bored. He is and all this is being decoded inside in one moment. How is this being decoded? How is this being decoded? In one moment, in a single moment, everything is being decoded. So I see he's getting support in the chair, the impulse comes in. The first is the Mooladhara chakra. And the primary role of Mooladhara chakra is to decode the element Prithvi, earth. It decodes it. Now it could be very, very subtle. It could be very, very subtle. It doesn't have to be so gross as him sitting on a chair. He may come that, I did very badly in the exam, and I give him a few good words of support. So that is also Prithvi Tattva. Also Prithvi Tattva. Now, we have taken only one of its, this thing that is support. What else could it do? 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 Come on, so many things. Just let the brain start roaming. You have to think to get the brains into, like you exercise the body, you have to exercise the brain. Otherwise it will just become redundant. What else? Supposing you say let's go for a movie. You say let's go for a movie, and I say no, I don't want to come, I've got to wake up early in the morning. What have I done? What have I done? How is this decoded inside? This feeling. What have I done? It is the feeling of resistance. Understand resistance? It is a feeling of you want to take me with you, I am resisting. Right? Resistance is another. What else? What else? What else does the earth give? What does the earth do? What is organic life? What is organic life? What is organic life? It is the skin of the earth. The skin of the earth, just a few feet is alive. If you go deeper, it's all dead. Just a few feet, there is the skin of the earth which is totally alive. It nourishes us. It gives us food. It gives us shelter. It gives us everything we get from the earth. Just a few words and I feel rejuvenated. The earth element. Happiness. The vibrations of the earth give happiness. So anytime we are sad, we go for a walk. Don't keep your, what do you call DVD player. Right? What do we want to do? We want to absorb the vibrations of the earth. It doesn't mean you have to walk barefooted. You can walk with shoes, right? But you keep your attention on the soles of the feet. And the earth gives you happiness. It gives. She is called Kam Dhenu. The one which fulfills all our desires. She gives. But we are daydreaming and walking at the same time. Right? Supposing the earth, Mooladhara, decodes the color yellow. So, which diseases would be an imbalance of the earth element? So many things it is decoding simultaneously. Huh? Jaundice. Right? So, each chakra is a brain, and each brain, as this impulse of you is coming in, the Mooladhara is rotating and it is decoding so many things simultaneously. And then the impulse goes up, it goes into the next chakra, which is called as Swadhisthana.
So Rajen, you just draw the chakras so that the kids will know where the chakras lie, like the Mooladhara side at the bottom, and maybe some of them will know where the chakras are.
Terrible at drawing. If I had known of the pen, I would have brought a booklet where I have all the chakras drawn, because I wanted to take sound one day and all the letters are in the chakras. See, there's so many functions. One chakra is to talk about it. Just okay. The Mooladhara is at the base of the spine. What is the final bone called of the spine? What is it called? The tailbone. It is the remnant of what monkeys have a tail. Right? The tailbone. And the tailbone ends in a place called the perineum. In that perineum there is a chakra. It is called Mooladhara.
Is it the Shakti?
Pardon?
Mooladhara is the Shakti.
It has a Shakti.
Why they want a certain power?
Huh?
The certain power.
Serpent power.
Yeah. I'll come to that. I don't want to get to that. Otherwise, I'll come to that. So, it is the size of an 8 anna coin. It is the size of an 8 anna coin. It has 4 spokes. How many spokes? 4. It is this way, lateral, not like this. It is this way in the perineum. This area over here, perineum, that area. Now, if you close your eyes, and just visualize an 8 anna coin in the perineum with 4 spokes. Just close your eyes and try to visualize an 8 anna coin in the perineum with 4 spokes. Now, from the top of the head, open your eyes. From the top of the head, we'll again close our eyes and visualize a laser beam going down into the perineum. Put the laser beam in one of those spokes. Put it in one of those and turn the Mooladhara chakra anti-clockwise. How will you turn it? Anti-clockwise, this way. The laser beam goes down like this. This is the Mooladhara. You put it in one of the spokes and you turn it anti-clockwise. Close your eyes again. Close your eyes. Visualize this chakra over there. Let a laser beam go from the top of the head, the middle, right down into the perineum. and try to turn it anti-clockwise. See if you can turn it with one breath, one round. Okay. Right. This practice can be done. And what you are saying, if the practice is done, the Shakti will awaken.
But is it only through a guru that you can do it?
Pardon?
Is it only through a guru that you can do it? Because that Shakti is very powerful.
Right, sir? Right, sir? It is very powerful. And I would say in the old days only through a
Guru's grace.
Guru. But if you do it in the rhythmic breath, there is no imbalance. There is no imbalance. Of course, I've just given a sort of way that this can be done.
And you don't need a guru in that way.
You need somebody to teach it to you in the right way. Not a guru. A friend is okay. It's a very fascinating subject. Now, I'm talking to you. My voice contains emotions. Voice contains emotions. So if I talk in a certain way, you'll be roused up, which were the very famous speeches where people were roused up, which was the most famous one. Most famous one in English literature. I've studied English literature, so I know. It's the most famous one in English literature. A whole city was turned around. Nobody reads Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, right? Mark Antony. Right. The very famous speeches in English literature, the first is always Mark Antony. Second is Abraham Lincoln, for the people, by the people, of the people. Third is Henry VIII. Henry VIII, God for England. Right? Okay. When I'm speaking to you, what is there in my voice that can either arouse you, make you depressed, make you happy? You talk to a girl, she feels happy, she feels sad, she feels this, etc. The tone, and the tone is composed of which tattva? Which tattva? Do you listen to people's tones? Do you listen to people's tones? Do you listen to people's tones? When you're sitting in a room and 5 people are talking outside, you can't see them. And you just study the tones of their voices. Okay. What will you see from the tone? What will you see from the tone? The emotions. The emotions. Emotions. And emotions are which tattva, which element? So this impulse has gone in, and the first thing, whether it is giving support or not, the Mooladhara is decoded, it goes up. And he's saying, okay, it is aggressive, it is loving, it is this, it is that. Who is going to decode that? Swadhisthana. This is the second chakra. It is the size of a 4-anna coin, and it is 45 degrees in an angle from Mooladhara up. It touches the forward part of the body. Right, exactly 45 degrees from Mooladhara. It is a 4-anna coin, 2 spokes. Of course, those two, it's means a lot, but I don't have time to do all that. But it decodes the water element. Now, what will we say of the water element? The first thing, what does water do? You put a drop of water on a table, what is the first thing it does? Before it flows. Before it flows.
Absorbs.
What does it do? The drop. First it
absorbs.
Contracts. First it contracts, and as more drops hit that drop, it starts flowing. The first thing it does is contracts. Now let's try to put the basic laws of life over here, the basic laws of life. Mooladhara, earth element, by virtue of its place in space, what does the earth have? Which force does it have? Gravitation. So it attracts. It attracts. And the Swadhisthana repulses. It repulses. Attraction, repulsion. It is between these two poles that whole of life is. The whole of life is. Everything in life is between these two poles, either attraction or repulsion, like or dislike. Like in Mooladhara, dislike in Swadhisthana. I don't like you. Who has decoded that? Swadhisthana. But I like you. Who has decoded that? Mooladhara. Whole of life is between these two poles. The first, when a male and female meet and the first master cell in the female's womb, this is the master cell, it splits into two. Which progression is this? What progression do we call this? What progression does the child go through in the womb? What do we call it? Geometric progression. From 2 it becomes 4 to 8 to 16. That's a geometric progression. This master cell splits into 2 cells. One becomes Mooladhara, the other becomes Swadhisthana. Medical science says that one becomes the sympathetic nervous system, the other becomes the parasympathetic nervous system. Right? Anyone studying to be doctors? I don't know. Okay. Now, these are the basic 2 chakras, Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. Yeah.
Is the Swadhisthana line in relation to Mooladhara anatomically? Where is it lying? If Mooladhara is in the perineum.
So the Mooladhara is in the perineum, right? And the Swadhisthana is 45 degrees up like this. In a male, it's very easy. Exactly where the sex organ touches the body, that is the area of the Swadhisthana chakra. In the female, it's a little difficult to find the exact point. Now I see so many colors. He's wearing blue and yellow and white and blue and green. Which chakra? Which chakra decodes the colors? Which chakra decodes the colors? It's Manipur. That's why it's called the manifold jewel. Mani means jewel, or the jeweled city. jewel city. In the Mahabharata, there is a beautiful story of Manipur. Arjun goes there to Manipur and he falls in love with a princess. What was her name? A very famous dance drama of Rabindranath Tagore. Nobody knows? Nobody? Have you studied Tagore? Not studied Tagore? Huh? Very famous dance drama of Rabindra Sangeet. Rabindra Sangeet. The name of it is Chitrangana. Chitrangana, she is the princess, and this Arjun and Chitrangana, they fall in love. Right? And what does the king say? What does Chitrangana's father say? What does he say? He says that I'll allow you to marry my daughter on one condition. And what was that condition? What was that condition? No one knows. Huh? Okay. You haven't seen the serial also, Mahabharata? I don't think it's in the serial. The father says, in our lineage, in our family, every generation has only one child. So I have my daughter. So she becomes the king of this kingdom. Right? She rules this kingdom. And she can have only one son, and he will rule the kingdom. So if I have a son, you cannot take, if you have a son, you cannot take him with you. He will remain here to rule the Manipur Chakra. The Manipur Chakra. And Arjun agrees, and they have a son. What was the name of the son? His name was Babruvahan. And after the Mahabharata war is over, Yudhishthir performs the Ashwamedh Yagna. And when Arjun is taking the horse through Manipur, his son comes to him and he says, you take my kingdom, you are my father. And Arjun gets angry. Okay, what kind of Kshatriya are you? You are not fighting for your kingdom. And he fights Arjun and he defeats Arjun. Right? Not only defeats, he cuts off his head and he dies. And then Ulupi comes and revives him. Right? So there's a story in the Mahabharata, the Manipur Chakra. A long story. Okay, we'll stop over here. Good night.